All right, let's talk about something that I think a lot of us have felt, maybe more than we'd like to admit: digital isolation. We're going to dive into this weird paradox of how a world that's more connected than ever can actually make us feel incredibly alone. So you pull out your phone, you open up your favorite app, and you see it right there: a big number. Maybe it's hundreds, maybe even thousands of friends or followers. On paper, you are a social superstar. And yet, something feels off, right? There's this weird emptiness. Even though you're technically surrounded by all these people, you feel totally, completely alone. It's a feeling so many of us are dealing with. So, what is actually going on here? Well, our first instinct, almost always, is to blame ourselves. We immediately start thinking, oh man, there must be something wrong with me. That this loneliness has to be some kind of personal failure on our part. You know that little voice that pops into your head, right? It says things like, maybe I should be reaching out more, or I just need to comment on more posts, or why can't I make any of these connections feel real? It's a super common reaction, but as we're about to find out, it might be completely missing the point. But what if the problem isn't you at all? What if we've been looking at this from the wrong angle entirely? The source material for this explainer introduces a radical new idea. It's not about the quantity of your connections, but the quality. And that brings us to something called the cognitive void. Okay, so that feeling, that sense of being alone in a packed digital room, that deep, nagging feeling of disconnection that you just can't seem to shake, it's very likely not a social problem. Just let that sink in for a second. It's not about whether you're good at making friends or being social. No, it's something totally different happening on a much deeper level. And here it is. This is the heart of it all: cognitive isolation. It's a type of loneliness that doesn't come from a lack of people, but from a lack of deep, mentally stimulating connection. You've got tons of social contact, the likes, the quick comments, but what you're missing is a real, deep connection. You're not feeling socially, you're just starving cognitively. So, how does this whole cognitive isolation thing happen? Well, it really just comes down to the huge difference between the kinds of interactions we have online. There's a whole world separating a shallow chat from a truly deep connection. So, if cognitive isolation is the problem, what's the cure? It's this awesome concept called mental resonance. This is that amazing feeling you get when you just click with someone over an idea, when you're on the same wavelength. It's not just talking, it's connecting. It's what so many of us are secretly craving. And this chart just lays it all out perfectly. Look at the column on the left. Social media is basically built for shallow interaction. The whole system rewards quick engagement: likes, memes, one-word replies. It's basically digital small talk. But mental resonance, over on the right, that requires the exact opposite. It needs deep conversation, sharing big ideas, real understanding. The way these platforms are built actually works against the very thing we need. So once you understand this, you can completely reframe how you see things. It stops being, what's wrong with me? And it becomes, okay, what kind of connection am I actually missing here? It's a total game changer. Okay, let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. First, that digital loneliness you're feeling, it's probably cognitive, not social. Second, remember that social media is designed to reward shallow interactions. Third, the real goal isn't getting more followers, it's finding that deeper mental resonance. And finally, and this is the most important one, this is not a personal failure. It's a mismatch between what your brain needs and what the digital world is offering. And that leaves us with one big question, a question for you to think about. If the likes and the quick DMs aren't cutting it, then where are you going to find that real mental resonance? What spaces, whether they're online or out in the real world, are going to give you that deep, stimulating connection you're actually searching for?